Beautiful. Well, thanks for the invitation. Yeah, I really love the I Ching is an amazing resource for thousands of years from ancient China, and so it has this very ancient feel. Sometimes it's like roots going deep into the earth, back into history, and yet it has this very timeless nature as well. And for me, it's like this beautiful way of connecting us right into the present moment, and it's known as the Book of Changes, and so it often it has an oracular nature too about it's really good at saying this is the way that the energy was and this is how the energy is looking to change. And so there's this very kind of cool past and future that is like able to be attuned to with the energies of the I Ching. But also, it's not just this ancient thing or this oracular thing, it's connected into the 64-fold language of DNA. And so it's literally written in the language of life. And so there's this amazing interconnectedness with not just the past and the future, but like all living life here and now. And so I think there's some great wisdom that it can be quite complex when you look into it, but it also can be just very simple and very beautiful. And so that's some of the energy of heaven in many ways. Is it's not about complexifying things. It's not about making them more wild and crazy and like turning it into 10,000 fractals. Like oftentimes it's like simplifying it into this beautiful thing, this really potent and just simply beautiful thing that may take your breath away or be very inspiring. And so that's a lot of the energy of heaven. And so heaven is creating a trigram in the I Ching, and it's made from three solid lines. And these solid lines are yang energy. And so everything is made from yin and yang. And so the yin is a broken line, is how it's symboled in the I Ching. And it's a receptive or feminine nature. It's the dark side of the hill that is like cooler, and it's the energy of contraction, the energy of receiving and sinking. Whereas the yang energy is expanding, it's light, it's heat, it sort of moves up and outward. And these are the two fundamental forces of cosmos. And so we can think of day and night, of winter and summer, of all of these different expanding and contracting energies. These are parts of the fundamentals that make up the gene keys and the I Ching and life itself in many ways. And so when you put three yang lines together, this is heaven. This is the pure yang energy, and this is the grandfather or the father kind of energy of these eight bagua. And so this is the sort of that masculine energy that radiates, that fills. It's very filled with light and heat, and so there's a bit of a like crackling energy. And so it can be it can sort of shine like the sun. The sun is probably one of the easiest uh metaphors for the heavenly energy. Like oftentimes when I think of heaven, I think of like the angels up on the clouds or some eternal realm that is like separate from earth, and that too can be some part of heaven. But heaven is like also the wide open sky. And so when you look, I live in Colorado, and so there's this notion of the Colorado bluebird sky. It's when there's not a cloud in the sky, and it's just, radiant perfection and beauty in all directions. Like this is also the energy of heaven. But it's also really well encapsulated by the light of the sun that is out in space and radiating endlessly, just giving and giving and giving this heat and light and creative spark out into the cosmos, filling the void of darkness without fear of how it's being received or whether it's taking up too much space or not. The sun just gives and it gives and it gives and it gives. And so this is also some of that energy of heaven that is very giving. It's like an endless supply and this really like powerful engine that, is why we have life on Earth. Like without the sun, I don't know that there would be an Earth, because the sun, is the force that holds the whole solar system, and all of the planets are all held by the weight of the sun. And so it has this powerful force of holding things, and really being the leader of this whole solar system. But then also it spreads this light and this heat and this living logos energy out. And so this is sort of that central point that keeps order in the whole local cosmos. And so that's some of this real energy of heaven. Is it's not angels on clouds or even the sun, although it's a really great metaphor for it, or that metaphor of the endless, clean and clear sky above. What it really is, in many ways, is the pure creative force of the universe. And it is this unseen energy that actually, allows for order to be in the cosmos. It's what allows for things to be in balance and to be sustained. And so this is some of its sort of hidden and secret nature, is that it has many levels, I will say, this heavenly concept. And some of it is tapping into that cosmic unseen order, but some of it is then, what do I do with that? What do I do with the energy that comes from the cosmos? Like, it's one thing to just splendor at the beauty of the cosmos, and it's another thing to co-create with it. And so that's some of the challenge. Is there's a lot of spark in the calendar in these years of, like, there's a lot of potentially creative, bubbling, effervescent, penetrative, sparking energy. And can I catch that? Can I do something with that? Can I dance with it? Can I co-create with it? And can I harness it and share in the co-creation of beauty? So those are some uh, initial contemplations on that heavenly energy. And, just from a perspective, the reason why we're talking about this now is that in the calendar that's connected to the gene keys and the dream arc and the human design systems, it moves through these seasons. And so right now, the key that we're in is the first gene key, which is heaven over heaven. And then in a few hours, that'll move to the next key, which will become lake over heaven. Beautiful. Matthew's showing the calendar that we really invite you to follow the gazelle, and then you can download these and print them out for yourself. And it goes right through why these elements are there. It also connects the dream arc animals. So really beautiful resource that our media team has been creating the last couple months for you. And so we're moving from heaven over heaven to lake over heaven. And that will be for the next 6 days, the 43rd gene key. And then the week after that, it'll move to fire over heaven in the 14th gene key, and then thunder over heaven, and then wind over heaven, and water over heaven, mountain over heaven, earth over heaven. And so it goes through this journey through the elements from heaven to earth. And so we're descending in these elements. So when we look at the calendar and the weekly pulse, it might be confusing. Why does it go to the first gene key, to the 43rd, to the 14th? It's like, where are we? And why is this happening this way? But if you look heaven over heaven, lake over heaven, fire over heaven, thunder over heaven, it moves from heaven to earth, with heaven being the common denominator on the bottom for this entire season. So there's 7 or 8 weeks that lead us right up to I believe, the winter solstice, that will be this heaven season. And so this energy will be alive, whether these keys are in your chart or these dream arc animals come to you in your experience. This is where this magic is alive with all of us in the collective. And so I'll pause there, but that's why we're contemplating these heavenly energies today.